Hi, I'm DJ Ware. On this episode of the Cyber Gizmo, I want to put together 5 different productivity tips for you today. And these productivity tips should help your workflows be a little smoother, maybe even a little faster. And so whether you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, let's dive in a little bit. The first tip that I would suggest is tmux. The reason for that is, here's a familiar case. Maybe this has happened to you. You get a call at 3 a.m., the backups failed on your servers at work. You drag yourself out of bed, you SSH into the server, and you manually kick off the backup jobs. You know this is going to take hours, and so you do the logical thing, right? So you leave the job running in your terminal, and you close the laptop, and you go crash on the couch. You wake up around 5 a.m., you flip open your laptop, and you see connection lost. And you know that your script has crashed and your backups didn't complete. So, yeah, they're aborted halfway through. So now you're scrambling to rerun the process, and your logs are a mess, and your morning is pretty much ruined, right? So what could our intrepid sysadmin have done differently to avoid this disaster? Well, there's a couple of ways you could do it. The way I do it is I use something called the tmux. So, all right, let me show you tmux. And all right, so I'm in tmux, and I know I am because of this green bar down here that shows me. Okay, so I could, you can do the usual split screen stuff and all that kind of stuff, but this is really the power of tmux. Pi calculator. I'm going to do a time. And we'll do a PyCalc. And I'm going to say, let's do 20,000. That should be about 2 minutes long. So, all right, I've started the job, and you should see it over here now running. So if I sit here long enough, my system's going to time out. That's going to crash. tmux is going to save you from that. What saves you from it is if I do a control B and a detach. So I'm detached from that session. It's still running. So let's go ahead and log off. We'll just leave that up, and I'm going to log out. Bye. Oh, there went my job, right? Well, glances definitely. Yeah, we can get rid of that. Okay, so let me log back in. And we'll add this one over here. And we'll do glances. And then I'll do tmux attach. I'm back in my session. It even brought up the ls command that I did prior to that. So you can see it's still running, and it's over here still running, even though I logged off the box. The only thing you can't do is reboot it. I mean, if you reboot it, it's gone, right? So, but you can't do this. And I've reattached back into my session again. So now if things time out right now, I'm screwed, right? I am completely dead in the water because I've lost my job. This is a foreground task. But you can put that in the background again. And now I'm fine. I'm protected from anything that might sign me off the terminal. But yeah, you can see it's still running over here. Eventually that will disappear. But the nice thing about tmux is that it's attaching a session, not the app. Okay, it's gone. And I just reattached, and you see the answer now. It took about 2 minutes, 15 seconds for 20,000 of those. And so, yeah, that's tmux. I use tmux all the time when I'm running my performance benchmarks. Those can take up to 5 hours, and the last thing I want to have happen is for a timeout to kill it in the middle of a job, because those benchmarks is all or nothing. They either have to run all the way through in order to create the logs, or they die in the middle and I get nothing. So no matter what happens locally, the work continues. Yeah, you could use no-hup. No, you could do no-hup and then put your command in and then an ampersand afterwards. But the no-hup stands for no hang-up. That should be kind of a clue to how old it is. That actually goes back into the Unix days. It was a thing back in the day when we used to dial up our servers using modems. And a lot of those connections had timeouts associated with them. So if you weren't active on that connection, it would just drop the connection in the middle. The no-hup said, yeah, don't kill the job just because the connection goes away. And the ampersand says run it in the background, so I can go on and do something else. And so that's generally how we did things back then. But, that's old stuff. So even in modern GUI sessions, that can still happen to you because, and here's why, you may have your terminal session through SSH also has a timeout value, but your GUI does too. A lot of times your GUI won't notice that you've been typing keystrokes into a terminal. So it'll go ahead and time you out even though you're active. I've had that happen more than once, and I'll bet you have had too. That's just the way the GUIs are independent of the terminal activity that you're doing. tmux has other advantages too, like you can split your sessions into multiples so that you can have multiple terminal sessions up and running without having to go back and open a new terminal window. FZF is another tip. FZF is the fast fuzzy finder. Let's say that, you probably run into this one too. You know the drill. So you ran a command 2 days ago that worked perfectly, and now you can't remember what you did to do it again, and you didn't save it into a script. So you're hitting the up arrow and you're trying to find your history, and maybe you're looking at history trying to find what it was. You can't remember what the aspects of maybe even the files that you were working with it. So maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it was report-files.txt, or maybe it was files-reports.txt. I mean, who knows? So maybe it was in your downloads folder. Maybe you were working on it in documents. The minutes passed and you're still searching. FCF allows me to search. Now, by default, it looks at your shell history. So I can just type in a couple of things here like, and it'll start to try to find stuff. But you'll notice that that's showing me a file, but not a path. So what if I'm doing a pretty large search across the file system and I want to know what the path is? All right, as well. All right, so let's get out of here. Let's do a find. Print working directory is wherever I'm starting from. So I could say start at root. This just says wherever I happen to be at. Where was my last CD to? And then we'll do a print and then a max depth. How many directories do I want to see below where I'm at, right? And then we'll pipe that to FCF. Okay, now I can just start typing some part of a name. Let's say BANFF. So, and it's showing me that, and I can just hit enter at that point if that's the right file, and then I can, that's all I needed. So there, you see, it's pretty fast. So let's do 5 this time. Here's my file. Even though it had 28,000 files, so now you can search those commit messages or hashes interactively. You don't have to spend hours or minutes trying to page back through your logs or through your history. I use it every time I forget the exact file name or of a script or a log file, or if I'm just running a command that, for the first time I'm learning it and I want to go back and recheck it. That happens a lot when I'm doing the videos. So it's fast and it's forgiving, and once you get used to it, you'll wonder what it was, why you never used it before. There's also organized aliases, So Alias, have you ever found yourself sitting down at your terminal and you type in this 30 character command with options and like maybe you're using FFmpeg, which goes on for days in order to describe and you're and you don't want to type that all in again and you're trying to find the history of the one that you used that worked because the other 50 tries you did it didn't work. So once you get it right, you can create a short form alias for that long command. And this is my update command for Fedora. But if you were on Debian or AP or Ubuntu, you would type this. Right? That's your full, that's to check the update, re-download your package cache and update that, and then do the upgrade from what it finds that you are missing on your system. So it would then upgrade all the packages that were found. This is Fedora, so that's not going to work. But what if I wanted to do an alias for that? Well, I can just put this whole thing in there, right? I think I don't think it likes this. Yeah, that's what it is. So now if I just do an update, yeah, apt not found. So yeah, if I did, and you can replace it. Oops. I don't have any updates to do, but yeah. But when I log off, that's gone, right? So that's history. We're missing it now. So have you ever noticed, I'm in bash, I'm using bash, but if I open bashrc, have you ever noticed this in here? User-specific aliases and functions. If there's a directory called bashrc.d, then for every RC in this directory, load it into this script at this port, right at this point right here. So that means that I can, let's put our alias in there. All right, now it's in there. There's my file. So yeah, it doesn't know about that. So I could do it the right way. Source. This is the same thing. That's the same thing as a source on the bashrc. That's the old school method of doing it. So now when I type update, it's running DNF. And that pulled from the file. So if I log out, doing a lot of log outs today, but that's all right. There you go. A real simple way of, you can even make it shorter if you want, make it UPD, but yeah, you can, you can define that alias any way you want. One caveat though, when you're naming your aliases, you might want to do that to see which ones you've already got. If you want to know what's in that update. Because you could inadvertently overlay one of your commands with it. And this will take precedent over what's in your command path. So yeah, your shell always will take precedent. So that way you can always see what you've got in your aliases. So, and you can then, all you need to do is just memorize the short command and it'll pull in the long command for you. Tip 4 is the terminal to-do list. This is called taskwarrior. We've all done it. We subscribed to we scribbled a to-do list on a sticky note, and then we lost it. If you tell yourself, I'll remember to finish that script after lunch, and then 3 days go by, you can use taskwarrior, which is a powerful, lightweight task manager that lives right in your terminal. Let's take a look at taskwarrior. So you'll notice that I get 2 of them that come up here. There's some other things like this one, which has a script for taking notes and open URLs with taskwarrior. And then so there's some other things here, like you can have shell commands that wrap taskwarrior commands. Yeah, and these 2 are the same. It doesn't matter which one you use, you're going to get task 2. In my task list today, my 5 steps, right? So I can add another one. So you just do a task add and then just start typing. And then if I do a task again, I get all 6. So let's say that I'm done with 6. I've done that one. So we'll just do task done 6. And now if I do a task list, I just get the 5 back up again. That's all there is to it. Is that simple. And you always have this here. So yeah, there's other things you can do. So check out the other add-ons for the command, because there's a lot more things you can do with this. You can keep track of bookmarks. You can keep track of a lot of different things. If you look at the task list itself, yeah, you can filter. You can set up projects. So yeah, you can organize your database a little bit so that you can have multiple different to-do lists that you have going on. Maybe you have a home, honey jar, or maybe something like that. But yeah, there's lots of things you can do with it. Tip 5, automate with cron. So you forgot to run the backup script last night. Not good. And of course, that's the night something broke, right? Always. They always come in pairs. One will come right behind the other. You forget to do the backup, and then something breaks the next morning. So you scramble to recover files that you try to remember what was changed and what the damage has done. So how could you have improved this? Well, cron allows you to create time-based job scheduling that remembers everything for you. So it'll execute it on whatever schedule and how often you want it to run. If you do a crontab, here, let's just do a man on crontab first. So you'll notice that you can specify a user and you can have a file with all your stuff in it. So yeah, you can easily back up your cron and then reload it into a different user if you want. I thought it was, yeah, there it is. Where it edits the current cron tab in the editor. L will show you what's currently in your current cron tab, and then R will remove the current cron tab. It gets rid of it. So here. There's my current one. I don't have anything. If I want to enter one, all right, so now I have to learn the syntax of the cron tab. The first one is what time do you want to run the job, and the first set of numbers is the minute. So this will be at the top of the hour. I want to run this at 2 a.m., and so the second one is the hour. The third is the day, every day. So I want to do this every single day, not once a week or, whatever. This is going to run every day. The next one, that's what the asterisk means. The next one is I want to run this every month. So, and you have to do it this way, otherwise cron will fail. And then the third one is the day of the week. If you ever want to know the format, you can do more on Etsy cron tab. And in the file, it shows you the first one is the minute right here. Second is the hour. Then it's the day of the month, so 1 through 31. Then you have the month and then the day of the week, meaning that, yeah, you probably wouldn't have a day of the month. You would just say every Wednesday run this job. So yeah, you can do that. Whatever the name of the shell script or the program is, you can run it. Let's write it out. And there's my cron job. It's sitting there waiting to run. So yeah, I can. Gone. And that's how you do that. So you can set up jobs. But that's all I had for today. Please like and subscribe and stay productive out there. See you next time. Bye for now.